We're so back, bitch.
Hey, we're back.
Do, 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 do.
We're podding.
Brah.
do, do, do.
Yeah, nice.
Hello, 2025.
Hello, 2025.
This is the pitch of discontent. I'm Owen.
And I'm Paige.
Feels weird to be doing this after a few weeks break.
Feels good.
Feels good, but it does feel strange. I feel like I'm fucking up the intro as I'm doing the
Like
intro.
you've forgotten how to do your job.
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy.
Bruh, one job.
One job. I forgot.
One job that involves about 80 different jobs.
Yes, indeed. Hello.
Hey
Thanks for tuning
friends,
in.
we missed you. Did you miss us? Do you love us? Would you love us if we were worms? Would you still love us then?
I would love you if you were a worm.
Yeah, fucking damn straight.
Yeah, look, it's good to be back. We definitely miss doing this. I have been working on stuff for the last week or so in anticipation of this. We have some exciting things coming up in
New things coming soon.
in personal stuff, pod stuff, general things that will be revealed. But yeah, it's fun. Glad to be back.
It is fun.
Paige, for our little introduction to our comeback episode, I wanted to do something in spirit of what I've seen other podcasts and culture writing pieces
We're basically
do.
stealing the bit from all of the other people.
I'm doing the trending topic.
Neat.
People have been doing their ins and out lists. So they're kind of going through like things that they want to see more of in 2025 and things that they want to chuck in the bin and get the fuck out of here. So do you have an out for me?
Netanyahu.
Yeah, look, genocide is
so yesterday. Yuck.
Carrying water for anyone who is pro-genocide is fucking out.
For sure.
I'll agree with that.
Super weird. Super weird that this is like something that we even have to talk about.
The lowest possible bar there is.
Just, yeah, don't do a genocide.
Okay, on that cheery note, what about your in?
My in is Free Palestine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Ceasefire is in.
Yeah. Ceasefire is trending.
Feels weird to be glib about something that fucking sad and depressing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I will keep saying it in many different tones and inflections until it probably happens, because I don't want it to finally happen and everyone be like, well, that's what we wanted the whole time. The way that those people gaslight us, the ones that actually have power. They'll be like, it was a tragedy. Like in Afghanistan, we're like, oh, such a tragedy. It's like, you guys did that though.
You did that.
Like, actively did
It's
that.
the Eric Andre, like, shooting the person and be like, who did this, man?
Who would do this? You.
I have one more in. So, context. We went to see Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Date night. We kissed.
It's cute.
Ooh.
Nosferatu was sick. So I'm going to put on my in more horny shit. Just more horny
I
stuff.
would argue specifically gothic horny. And also, like, isn't the whole point...
Campy, gothy, horny, all the above.
Like, no more glittery, as much as we love a glittery vampire. No more glittery vampires, more grotesque vampires.
I want a man who yearns.
I want a man who has little pindles for legs.
And a grotesque zombie dong.
Yeah. A huge zombie dong. Can you work on that for me, please?
I'll get right around to it.
I'd like you to get a bit of rotting corpse going on.
Before we get into the tracks for this week's episode, I would just like to say that even though we took a couple of weeks off for the break, there was still music coming out every week.
Good music, too.
Which is one of the benefits of doing this job. It never really stops. There's always shit to talk about.
As long as they make the music, we can talk about the music.
Correct. So there's a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to talk about in this episode because we only have so many spaces for artists and tracks. But I will give a shout out to the new record from Ethel Cain, the mother.
Love her.
She is serving eternally.
Also, not many of the hets have found her yet. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, Chaperone is so sick, but a lot of hets applying her music to their shit, and it's just like, nah. That's weird.
Yeah, but I mean,
Not to be like heterophobic or anything, you know what I mean? But like, you guys have enough stuff. Let us gays have stuff. Also, you're really embarrassing.
Ethel is definitely hitting a slightly more bleak and depressing spot than the Chapel Roans, but
yeah, I know. I like it's the Venn diagram of me.
it's hilarious too because the new record, Perverts, which we briefly talked about on the pod last year, but the new record is out in full. You can go listen to it. It's like nearly 90 minutes long. A good
And
like
it's gorgeous.
a good 60% of it is just like ambient drone noise.
That's the memes.
So like a lot of publications are having trouble like trying to figure out what it is. Like they don't want to call it an album. It's like,
I mean, it is still an album.
it's like 4 times as long as an
they
EP.
okay?
Yeah, like they're just like having trouble trying to figure out what it is.
Give it a new name. An
I
8
guess.
them. Because there's like
I mean,
8.
it's an album. And
Well, there's 90. So
I respect the
a
fact
night them.
an album. I respect the fact that she followed up her kind of like breakthrough release that put her on the map with something that is
Still unique and incredibly creative.
kind of impenetrable and just
Yeah.
kind of like, fuck you, I'll do whatever I want.
And also like leaning into the stereotype of a trans woman as with the title as well. Super clever, kind of tongue in cheek, very dark, which is just very on brand. I
Yes,
just love on brand shit.
me too. People with their finger on the pulse of the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'll also give a shout out to the band Thursday, seminal post-hardcore outfit from the 2000s. They went on hiatus in 2011, maybe 2012. I think that last record came out in like 2010, 2011. Anyway, it's been a hot minute since they put out any new music. They've been touring for the last few years, doing anniversary shows and whatnot, but they've finally released some new music. And in like the gap between our final week's episodes and now, they managed to release like 3 new songs.
Yeah, I saw all that.
And they're all sick.
And I've listened to them, yeah.
They're all incredible.
Because like Spotify rightly is like, you'll like this. And I was like, correct.
I
and
will.
I did.
Thank you. Thank you for serving that to me.
For sure.
I didn't feature it in the list for this week's episode, mainly because it came out last week and there's already a bunch of new stuff that's dropped. So
we've got to stay on the pulse too, you know what I mean?
If you're tuning in and you're like, where is the Thursday track? Like, I don't know, man. When they do another one, we'll talk about it.
We'll try and catch that one.
Yeah.
You know? You know?
That's pretty much all I had for shout outs, ins and outs, various other kinds
Shout
of
out
outs.
Christmas ham. You were delicious. Shout out New Year's fireworks. You were illegal because I was in a tiny town in the middle of New South Wales. And there's no way that the town actually sponsored that. And also it was my cousin's.
And we were in bed by 10:30, so...
I mean, I got up for the fireworks. Yeah, and so did you. We weren't in bed by 10:30.
I mean, I definitely was. So were you.
No, I literally was not. I posted that post at midnight. So
okay, well, should we get into tracks for this week?
we can.
All right,
I believe we can.
let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so first up for this year, first track for the weekly roundup. I didn't even talk about what episode we're up to or anything. See, I told you I fucked the intro.
What are we up to?
It's 205.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There you go. 9 minutes in. Welcome to episode 205. First track for this year comes from doom pop outfit SOM. They have a new record.
Is that spelled like TSOM?
No, just SOM.
Oh.
But all in
It just
capitals.
sounded like you went SOM.
No, just SOM.
SOM.
You can put a silent T in there if you want to.
Yeah, the T is silent.
Okay. New record is called Let the Light In. It is coming out on March 14th through Pelagic Records. This is a follow-up to a record from 2022 called The Shape of Everything. That was my first introduction to the band. I wrote about them in the newsletter. I think it was maybe when we first started the pod. It might have been in the first episode.
I do remember this.
But it's been a while since they've put out anything new. They kind of went quiet for much of 2023. I think they dropped some remixes and stuff last year, but we're finally cooking with the new stuff now.
Yeah.
And I've got a little quote about the record. It says that the band are turning their sights inward towards our most primal impulses, seeking solace and reconciliation from the vibrancy within ourselves and the people we hold close.
Ooh. Nosferatu.
Yes, very Nosferatu, very gothic, very camp.
Super camp.
I love these guys. They do a great mix of melody and heaviness. With a real focus on like the atmospherics, the layers, the vibes.
Man, all of that shit is up my alley.
It's good stuff. Latest single is maybe their heaviest one yet, so kind of leaning on the more abrasive side, but it's a good one. Let's give it a listen. This is SOM, Nightmares.
Okay, let's do this.
Thoughts?
Bow now, bow, bow now, bow, bow. And that other little like more melodic riff up in the beginning there. Super cute. Loved it.
It starts off
Bloody beautiful.
very like dreamy and kind of just like lets you kind of float
Atmospheric.
through all of it.
Ethereal.
And then
Ephemeric.
thank you.
Gloss.
Had to bring him back on the very first
That's
track.
a callback.
And then about halfway through, it starts to bring in that kind of like panic chord ring in bit, that riff, and then it kind of just gets like sludgier and heavier kind of as they go. And I think I noticed like the vocals kind of just like drop off and it just becomes like very kind of instrumental towards the end.
And I would argue even the vocal track, the way that it's sitting in the mix more acts as a instrumental element than a forward-facing vocal track.
Yeah, in the way that like a shoegaze vocal is very much like
Exactly.
mixed as like an instrumental layer rather than as something like pronounced and forward above everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's cool. I really enjoyed it.
It's sick, and it's pretty much what I expected from SOM. It's got the melody, the heaviness, the atmospherics. I'm excited for the new record.
Me too. And, consider adding a silent T song.
Just think about it. just think about it.
That's our great advice, I think.
Keeping things local, next track I have comes from Gold Coast garage rockers, The Sex Guys.
Been there?
Do you remember these guys?
Yeah, I do. It's hard to forget that name.
Yes. This is the project of Entrapment guitarist Dennis Levinus. Levinus. My bad. Sorry, Dennis.
Lenovo.
This is a...
He's a laptop.
Dennis Lenovo region. This one is called Tinfoil Hat. It is an anti-cooker rager, and I would describe this as a fun ode to like every cooked, close talker, YouTube conspiracy pilled uncle.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Family member that you've ever had. You'll hear about it with the lyrics, but that's essentially the vibe of this one. It was recorded by a friend of the band Ant at Waveform Studios and mixed by friend of the show Pip at Blackbird Audio, as well as Rock City Studios. I didn't have any press info on this one because it literally just dropped this morning, but I have a quote from the band's Instagram, and they said, "Mama always told me, don't believe everything you hear in the news. Well, this time, you better fucking believe it. You've read the rumors, now hear the news straight from the source. Tinfoil Hat has been released into the atmosphere, and this shit is fucking contagious."
I don't know. It still sounds like fake news. It still sounds like Murdoch.
I don't know. What are your sources on that?
Yeah, I'm going to need to cite some sources. Sorry.
This one's sick. It's fun. It's a little bit, tongue in cheek, but given the time of,
mass hysteria
that we live in, everyone knows a guy who's a tinfoil hat guy. So
don't we just? And some of us know multiple. So
yes, indeed. Anyway, this is The Sex Guys, Tinfoil Hat.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I said nah, but I think they sell durries at the Japanese Star Mart behind the Westfield car park. He proceeds to explain to me about the pyramid conspiracy and how it all has something to do with 5G. I can't be fucked Googling that. It must be
Tinfoil hat. Tinfoil hat.
No, about government data. I can't remember the words. It's been a minute.
Government data retention.
That's it. Thank you. This song could save lives.
It could.
I would like it to go very viral. And also, there's something about like...
Not COVID 5G microchip viral.
Do it. Hopefully it brainwashes people. Ivan Niash. Yeah, no, sick song. Definitely want more people to hear it. There is something powerful about shaming people into shutting up because it's okay that you have paranoid delusions. That's fine. Lots of people do. It's just that why does it have to be my problem? I don't know you. I'm just trying to buy my groceries, man. You know what I mean? Or I'm just trying to catch my Uber from A to B. Please leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about it.
I didn't ask to know about the Jewish problem, so maybe just keep it to yourself.
Wild that you get that explanation.
Yep.
I mean, clearly Jewish heritage with the Morowitz last name. Like, it's crazy that people are like, you know what this guy wants to hear? Anti-Semitism.
Something about him.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a great track. Thank you.
It was. It's good fun. It's catchy, simple, elegant, some would say. I also love the pre-chorus of I can't be fucked Googling that.
Yeah.
Because
so
nothing quite puts a little caveat on all of this on like people who are like blissfully content in their own ignorance and then won't do an ounce of work to try and like get around it.
I mean, I think that the main message is like, I don't even care if it's real or not.
Yes.
It's more your fervor and your complete like despair about it. Like, okay, maybe the drones are taking like heat ray fucking maps of our houses, but like, to what end? Like,
maybe Iran does have a mothership. I don't fucking care.
But like, what can we do about it? Like, there's nothing we can do. So it's not worth like killing yourself with stress over. There are real things that are happening that you can be stressed over.
Yes.
Actively things that are happening. Like, let's do some class consciousness here. That's all I'm saying. You're allowed to be paranoid and terrified. There's many things to be paranoid and terrified about. You don't have to make ones that are kind of undertone a bit racist. You know, brown people did build the pyramids. Yeah, that happened. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, sorry. I'm back on my bullshit, aren't I?
Tinfoil hat. Tinfoil hat. Okay. Next up, we have a new track from Indiana Heavy Merchants, Church Tongue. Haven't heard of these guys for a while. They put out an EP or maybe an album. I can't remember. The record is called The Hubris of Gods Departed.
I love a bit of Church Tongue.
Epic title.
That's what I call just like making out in the back pews.
Yeah. I'm sure that's where they got the name from.
That's what they meant it.
But the Indianapolis metalcore outfit have announced that they've signed to Pure Noise Records.
Oh shit, that's sick.
So that's sick for them.
Congratulations.
And they have a upcoming release, which is a new EP called You'll Know It Was Me. And this one is coming out on Valentine's Day, February 14th.
That's romantic.
Yes, very romantic. Now, the EP features guest features from Colin Young of Twitching Tongues, God's Hate, Hard Law, many things.
Colin Young.
The Colin Young, as well as George Clark from Deaf Heaven and Crystal Pack from Initiate. So that's exciting. A lot of good guest gets there. I've got a quote here from vocalist Mike Sugars, who says, You'll Know It Was Me is a short record about love. Love looks like a lot of things, and each track touches on it in its own way. People close to me have heard me about wanting to make this kind of record for a long time. I just hadn't grown enough to realize the dream of it, and I knew it had to be a Church Tongue record.
People have wanted you to make a romantic album for a long time. Your partner, maybe? Is that who people are?
Other people in the room right now?
Because people have been wanting Owen to write a short story about how we met for a long time. People have been saying.
People have been saying.
It would be really nice to have that come out in fucking February.
Anyway, let's have a listen to the lead single from the EP. This is Church Tongue, Bury Me, parentheses, 1,000 times.
Holy shit, that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of times.
All right.
Everything
That's on some fucking early 2000s shit.
Do you want to say that on mic?
I think I already did.
No, you just like the end
That's
of it.
on some early 2000s shit.
But yes, the breakdown at the end.
Bury me 1,000 times. I'll keep coming back. Redefined.
Hard.
You're welcome. This translation is brought to you by Paige.
I thought it was dope.
Yeah, it was really hard. It's the kind of shit that I would fucking row to at the gym.
I just like the way that they like switched into like a couple of different registers. Like there's like that kind of mid-tempo bit at the start. It drops away into like that little like ambient kind of section, then jumps back into like some blast shit, and then fucking picks it up again to like up the tempo and then drops it back into the breakdown. So like constantly moving into different registers the whole way through.
It's really pleasing for my ADHD brain when there's no lulls and things stay interesting and different the whole time.
It's almost why you have an affinity for heavy music.
You heard it here first, folks. Neurodivergents love heavy music.
Hey, Nelly D.
Shocking. My ex-boyfriends would say it's because they showed me the music. What is that? Dudes will always claim their like entire ex's musical identity is because of them.
Oh, it's because we own you.
Guys, shut the fuck up.
Moving on, I have another Australian selection. So this one came through the email inbox. Got an email from Dave, who is vocalist for post-hardcore noise rockers Canary Bones.
Cool.
Who come from here, Nam/Melbourne.
Like a mine canary?
The album release cover definitely does have a bird on it. It is a dead bird.
Is it I'm a canary, you're a coal mine, and sorrow is all the rage? Thanks, Pat Stump. Or is that, I don't know, fucking Fall Out Boy?
I have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah, Owen is kind of like not on the new Fall Out Boy shit. Don't even get me started. Whole other thing.
So Dave reached out and sent me a little presser for the band. They have just released their debut 4-track demo.
Yay!
And that came out on January 3rd, so at the very start of the year.
Coming in hot.
Indeed. I would say that this is for fans of a bunch of different artists, but if you fuck with like Husker Du, Sonic Youth, Swans, At the Drive-In, Envy, Coalesce.
All of those are great bands.
Just like mathy, angular, heavy
proggy
type shit. A little bit of proggy shit in there. You'll probably dig this. As Dave said to me over email, the band's pairing of sonic intensity and rhythmic tranquility matches the bleak but hopeful lyrics covering topics such as post-pandemic anxiety, family estrangement, parental burnout, and the disappointment of unmet expectations.
Oh, I love that music ages with us.
It's
sometimes.
very millennial coded for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Make the EP like millennial grey. Just keep the consistency. I love it.
I've got a fave track from the demo, and I said in my reply to Dave that this one kind of sounds like a mix of These Arms Are Snakes, like the Auctioneers record from like the early 2000s, meets like The Nation Blue, which is still like a very underappreciated Australian act in that noise rock kind of sphere. And he told me, he was like, oh, those are two bands that we definitely fuck with.
Yeah,
so
sick.
I think I kind of nailed that. But I'm going to play that track for you now.
Humble brag.
So this is Canary Bones, Pearls Before Swine.
Oh my God. I love all the naming is very visual. You've drawn me in.
Hell yeah, let's go.
To never return.
Sick.
Yeah. Angular.
Angular.
Noodly guitar work. Great riffage.
I slurped up the noodle.
Dave's vocal tone is super interesting.
I love Dave's vocal tone.
It's not quite a yell. It's not quite like a bark.
It's also not damaging to his vocal cords.
No.
It's very controlled and healthy.
Controlled and distinct. It's really, really good. We were
and
talking
very
about
Australian.
Yes. I do love when a band just like isn't putting on airs in terms of like an accent. Like they just sound like they should.
In every artist that does that's defense, we consume so much specifically like American media that I think that it's very natural that that's how you sound. Also, if you're actually trained in vocals, a lot of the time you're taught to have a bit of a British inflection actually is the correct way. But we all know with music, rules are made to be broken.
Yes, that's right. But I think the demo is sick. Like each song has a little bit of something different, showing different kind of like elements of the band. We were talking about the riffs, and I do think they have 3 guitarists because I saw in the promos.
And I said, add another. If 3, what's 4?
Yeah, make it 7.
Make it 7.
I mean, maybe I fucking fucked that up, but I can't hear any like keys or anything. So I feel like if there's 6 guys, it's probably 3 guitarists.
And that's sick.
And that's dope.
And I'm about it. And if anything, more.
Yeah, make it 7.
It was really fun. It was a great track.
Yeah. Cheers to Dave for slipping into the email DMs.
We appreciate you. We love you.
Yes.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you for sharing that out. I believe they're playing a show in Footscray.
Something Mama's.
Mama Chen's.
That's it, Mama Chen's.
On the 1st of Feb. So if you like what you hear, go follow the band and come to a show.
Be there or be square.
Thanks. Are you fucking 80 years old?
Yes. You know my secret now.
Oh.
I have Benjamin Button disease.
Nosferatu. I see.
Bury me 1,000 times.
It's making so much sense.
If you will.
Final track for side A this week for our first episode of the year. I have a throwback to something from 2023. So when I last wrote about Philly dark pop duo Korine, I mentioned how that I had been already raving about them for years.
Yeah. Bit of a simp.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I'm still doing that.
Here we are again.
We out here. It's 2025. Still on that shit. Still ranting about the band. The pair, which is Morgie Ramone and Trey Fire. They have
sick names.
Yes. They are blending new wave with synthwave as well as like emo kind of like goth textures. They put out an LP in 2023 called Tear. And I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, the hoes gonna love this.
I adored that shit. They are following that up with a new record. It's called A Flame in the Dark.
Ooh.
It's coming out on March 28th via Born Losers Records. Lead single from this record is called Anhedonia, which is a term that refers to the inability to experience pleasure or interest in previous sources of joy.
So it's run out. The dopamine juice ain't flowing anymore.
Correct.
Ugh. Yeah.
And given the absolute fucking shit fight that 2024 was, I can see how that's relevant.
Yeah. Look, I've definitely been enjoying things and had them turn to ash in my mouth. So feels. Yeah.
Let's have a listen.
Depressing.
Let's have a listen to Anhedonia. It is capturing perhaps a different mood that the title does not suggest.
Ooh, let's
this is
do
Korine
this.
Anhedonia.
Vibes.
Looking at me like I'm the fame. I'll have you down on your knees. Don't think I'm big, one that you know. Softly holding take you away. Don't think I'm big, one that you know.
I love this.
So good.
Oh my God, the synth?
So even if the title refers to this like inability to experience pleasure, I just want the audience to know
pleasure.
I experienced pleasure
It's
while
filling
listening to that.
filling my cup. Yeah.
So good.
Bringing me joy. It's definitely, I mean, yeah, thematically a bit depressing, but vibes wise, I'm just bopping along.
Vibes are immaculate.
I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah, we were talking about this while the track was playing, and I had to kind of pause the thought so that we could run it back for people actually listening to
He
the show.
yelled at himself.
I did. We do it all the time.
He's like, fuck, this is a part of the thing we're supposed to do.
Yeah, their songwriting is just really, really good. They understand the nuts and bolts of this sound, subgenre, whatever you want to call it, and like
Sure.
what makes it engaging. They write, record, produce all their own music.
What?
So like it's a very much in-house thing.
I'll be honest, usually when I hear that, I'm like, oh yeah, the mastering makes sense now. Like I get a bit fucking snobby about it, but this is like, it's like when someone you look at someone's hair and they're like, yeah, I cut it myself, and then you look at it a little longer just because they said that. This is solid from front to back.
Yeah,
it's
sounds
super
perfect.
good. They could have a job as hairdressers. In my analogy, that is.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining that in full to everyone.
Yay! Do you
But no.
miss me, guys?
My point is that like they're just getting better at refining what they do. The songwriting gets sharper.
Yeah.
The production, was always good, but it's just as good, if not better than before. So like everything is just like tightened that little bit on each
Leveled
release.
up.
Yeah. And the hooks are so good. You were saying that like the synth that they went for.
Yeah.
It's just like so pitch perfect.
Sick. Yeah.
It's really, really good. And I think like as a intro to this new record, great single to start things off. Like I'm pumped. I'm excited for a new album.
This is actually a really, really good way to draw people in this particular track.
Agreed.
Good choice.
Yes. That brings us to the end of side A for this week. So for our first Spruik of the year, if you would like to watch side B and get the full show, head on over to the Patreon.
Come over. We get naked and play chess over there. We don't do that. That's not what happens. It's not OnlyFans.
Nah,
it's
that's
Patreon.
on the
Relax.
OF link.
Oh my God.
And if you're into that, let me know.
All right. Well, love you guys.
Head over to the Patreon, watch the rest of the show, come hang out with us.
We'll see you next week if you can't make it to the Patreon. In a different location.
Yeah, something a little bit different for you. We'll see you then. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Subscribe now to the Pitch of Discontent Patreon to receive access to extended cuts of our bonus episodes, as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes content, monthly Patreon-only episodes, member-only votes, the TPD community chat, and much more. Go now to patreon.com/TPDpod and join for as little as $5 a month. That link again is patreon.com/TPDpod. Thanks for watching the show.